This is for those who want to read Mahabharata in English but don't know where to start. The very first question which you need to ask yourself is, do you want to reach the abridged version or the unabridged version? Because both are available. And I will not be talking about the retellings. Sorry. We are just talking about the original versions which has just the original stories. So here we go. The very first thing which I would like to mention is C. Rajgopalachari's version, which is of course abridged version. It is kind of retelling, but it doesn't include any fictional elements in it. It is retelling in a sense that he retold it in his own way. That's it. It is not a literal translation, and it is some 600 pages long, whereas the original manuscript, as we discussed, of course we don't have original manuscript, but the critical edition that we have, it has 75,000 shlok in a day, and if we add Harivamsa, it goes on to approximate 90,000 shloks. So of course that won't be included in the 600 page book. So you can read Siraj Gopalachari's version if you want to read something short but also want to know the truth, not the one which we have been told by all the retellings. Okay, so Siraj Gopalachari's version if you are in a hurry and if you want to know the basics which you don't know yet, so go with it. And if you are a beginner, then you must read his version. It is easy language for us, and he has given his interpretations in few instances, and he tells us more about dharma also. So let's get on with the next part where we talk about the critical edition. So the critical edition, that is of course in Sanskrit, was very first time compiled by Bori Institute, that is Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute based in Pune. So they compiled data from all over India, from every state, every small village, and everything which is available in all these villages. They compiled it and found which are most commonly available in every region and which are oldest. The later retellings and the later editions have been excluded. So that is how we came to the Bori critical edition. So this edition is the critical Sanskrit edition, which we consider as authentic as of today. And there are few translations, unabridged ones, which are based on this translation. We will talk about them one by one. But very first one I will like to mention is the one easily available to us. That is the one by translation by Big Debroy. Yes, I own this for more than 2.5 years, but I haven't started it for the fear of not finishing it. But finally I have started it. The first one I've started, and you can see the notes. The stories come into picture. There are a lot more stories than what we see on the television. Yes, the B.R. Chopra's Mahabharata was the very first introduction for many of us, and it is as good as it gets. But there are many more things which should be told for the main storyline itself, and that is included in the Star Plus version of Mahabharata, which came in 2013. That very first time I saw it on television, and that's when I asked a lot of questions to my mom, and she gave me more versions, not versions, but there are many more stories than what we see even in that Star Plus version. So after listening to my mom's stories, and of course whenever we used to meet our nani, we would ask her, tell us new story from Mahabharata, and she would always have something new to tell us. And of course dadis always tell us the stories. So because they knew more than what was there in the series, I searched and I found that this by Big Debroy's version, and there is also one more which is considered a really good translation, which is by Kesari Mohan Ganguly. Well, it is not based on critical edition because it's way older than when the critical edition was started. So it is still good. It has lot more stories, and very important part being that it is completely translated, which is rare, because other than by Beck Debrois, there are only two other translations which are fully translated in English. So, other than Kesri Mohan Ganguly, we have Manmathanath Dutt. Yes, Vivek Debroy himself mentions all these books, and I rechecked it with Google. So, other than Kesri Mohan Ganguly, Manmathanath Dutt also has fully translated the Mahabharata in English. The only thing missing in both these translations is that they are not based on the critical edition. Still, you should refer to it if you love to know more and more about this Mahabharata. So, other than that, we also have University of Chicago translation, then Pilal and Writers Workshop, and there is Clay Sanskrit Library translation. Well, out of this, Chicago version is still not complete, and Clay edition is not translated in sequence. Hence, again, that is not complete. Then comes Pilal's translation, which is considered more a transcreation. It is not a literal translation, but it is a literary translation. Consider this, that Shashi Tharoor has recommended Pilal's translation. It is more poetic and yeah, a literary work. In 2013 itself, I had the question, like, I watched this new Mahabharata, I read so many stories on Google, and there is this website, Hinduism Stock Exchange. They share a lot of stories and they give answers which they reference to, from which edition they have given the answers to our questions on Mahabharata. So that also helped me a lot, and that after all the research, I came to the conclusion that if I want to read English translation, then I should go with either Kesari Mohan Ganguly's translation or Bibek Debroy's translation. So, as Kesari Mohan Ganguly's translation was quite old, I thought I will start with that, and I found all the books in PDF format on web itself. But again, you literally can't read Mahabharata in ebook. Still, I started it, but of course, after a while, for some reasons, I stopped because I wanted it in my hand so I could mark the points. I would tell my mom, discuss it with my mom, even with my nani or dadi. So again, then after a really long time, finally I bought this 2.5 years ago. But again, after seeing it, I didn't post about it much, because what I thought was, if I talk about it, or even if I start, what if I don't finish? But I think this time I am going to go through it, however time it will take. In between, I might try reading something else if it feels like it, but I will finish it this time. So when I started it this time, I thought of making the small videos, the shorts which you see, to let people know the small things. Now, after this long form video, if I got something more to discuss with you all, which will have 2-3 versions in different Mahabharatas or in different regional books, then I will definitely discuss it in the long form video. There is one more thing I would like to tell you, is that I'm going to tell my mom to write down all the books she read in Marathi and Gujarati on Mahabharata, because those are really, really important. And also, Bibek Debroy has mentioned in his introduction all the Marathi books which he read, the which of course has Iravati Karve's Yugant. So, and I know my mom has read that. So I'm going to tell mom to tell me all the books which she read in Marathi and in Gujarati. These, at least these regional books in Mahabharata, which has no fiction in it, and I would like to bring it to you all if you are interested. Well, I would like to ask my nani from where she read, because of she also reads a lot in Marathi and Gujarati, and I'm sure she has read it from somewhere. Otherwise, how do they know so many stories which are not even there on TV or something? Well, there's one more thing, that they used to watch these creations. They used to watch Bhagavad Sapta. Like, there is story of Bhagavad is about Krishna's story, so in that also Mahabharata comes sometimes. And all that they see, and they know so many stories, and of course the stories which have come from generations, that's how they know. But if they have read some books, then I will definitely share with you all in the regional books available. And after this also, I have few Malayali friends who will surely share which books from Malayalam are a good way to know more about Mahabharata. So stay tuned, I will bring it to you in Gujarati, Marathi and Malayalam also. Thank you.